What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fishy Hour. So I have some news for you guys. Unfortunately, Brian is here. I'm just kidding. What's up, Brian? Woo! Oh, wait a minute. I need to change your feed.
What's up,
Oh,
dude?
Brian's just an empty box. Oh, no. I'll fix this. You can talk. We can hear you.
Hello.
There you are.
What's up, everybody? Hey, all right, we got some shout outs to go out there, Roman.
Some shout outs. Let's do some shout outs real quick, guys. All right, do me a favor, guys. While I do these shout outs, type in !share into the chat, and I'll give you a link to share with your friends. Invite them over to the show. Guys, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not seeing the growth I want to see in this channel. So it's not looking good. If you guys want this channel to succeed, you got to be part of that success. You guys have to help us grow the channel. We're just looking at the numbers earlier today, and and Brian didn't know I was gonna bust this out on you guys, but in the past 28 days, we've had 3 subscribers to the channel. So that's not good. Okay. So anyways, there's some shout outs, and while I'm doing shout outs, grab a friend, bring him in here, ask him to come check out the show, and then at that point, it's up to us. If we can't keep them here with our content, then it's not your fault. It's our fault. Okay. But help us get people in here and see if they like the show. Just give us a shot. Help us get more at bats with other people. Okay, here we go. Leonard in the house. What up, Leonard? Welcome back to the show. I'm doing some underground music.
Leonard.
Some little background music.
Bay Creepers.
Here we go. Leonard, welcome back to the show. I see Todd TB Metal Art in the house, listening but making metal madness. Nice. That's all you can do. Stay
TV metal art. Hey, I got some TV metal art.
I was gonna say something about that earlier, Brian. You should have those fish facing in.
Huh?
Yeah. You need to flip them over.
Does that bother you?
It kind of actually does. It takes I look at your face, and I'm like, oh look, there's a fish. Oh, what's that fish looking at? I don't know. I'm gonna go look off to the side and see. I wonder what that fish is looking at.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, boss. I'll change it.
And then we have Saltwater Slayer in the house. What up? Welcome back, Cal. Thank you, sir. Cal, I thought you were already a Patreon supporter, but I got a notification that you are. I thought you always were. It's weird. Anyway, so I got a notification that Cal signed up for the true fan level on the over on the old PayPal. No, not the PayPal. Sorry, over on the old Patreon. So thank you, Cal, for supporting me and making these shows possible. Very cool of you.
Thanks, Cal.
I see Todd. Oh, Todd's here. We got Arnie in the house. What up, Arnie? How's it? Very good. Welcome back. Mark G in the house. What up, Mark? Speaking of Mark G and other guys like Jesse who you know what? I'm getting into the announcements. Let me just keep going. Shout outs. Dave Rage in the house. What up, Dave? Welcome back. I see Jesse. I just mentioned Jesse. Cool. Dave Rage. Captain Dan in the house. What's up? Are you back? Oh no, he's still in Mexico. Very cool. I see DOS Attack in the house. DOS Attack. Welcome, dude. It's been a while. Welcome back. Salty Dangler in the house. I see Joe. What's up, Joe? Welcome back. Good to see you on here, Joe. Let's see. Swimming the wrong way. Arnie in the house. Okay, Mark. Okay, cool. All right, very cool. That's shout outs. Let's do Pop Top and get this show cracking. I have some announcements to make. We have some announcements to make, and then we're gonna jump into the show. It's gonna be a fun episode. Thanks for showing up, guys. Let's do this. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So
on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best Pop Top you ever heard in your life, 1 being the worst. Rate this Pop Top. You're supposed to say it with me. Pop Top.
Pop Top. Sorry, I'm slipping. So I've had 2 weeks off. I'm starting from scratch here. I don't know what happened. I'm totally off. Trader Joe's. I went to Trader Joe's.
Oh, what?
I've only been there a few times. Got some sparkling water. Let's see how this goes.
Trader Joe's. You're walking around town and you stumbled across and you're like, oh, well, I'm in Trader Joe's. Is that how it was?
Basically, yeah. I walked in there and it's like, what is this place? They have pretty good food there. Pretty good. All right, here we go.
Oh, that was good. Splash Factor.
It's gonna be a long one.
Jeez.
Oh man, I was probably too long. So here you go.
Welcome. Very cool. That's the wrong kind of mug to be holding, bro. This is a mug to be holding earlier. Bam.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Go ahead and put your score in the chat. Let me know what you think Brian got on his Pop Top, not his pour. Pours are
extremely long.
Pours don't count. Oh, nice. 9.9, 8.5, 9. Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Aaron. Leonard, 9. Thank you. But go Bay Creepers.
All right. All right. Here we
We'll
go.
always be the Bay Creepers.
Scale of 1 to 10. Tell me the best pop top you ever heard in your life. 1 being the worst. Rate this pop top.
Oh, wow. That was a good one. Zevia? I can guess now. That's Ziva Cola flavor, right?
That was like the most classic. I think that was my favorite one so far that I've ever done in the show, Brian. Add all the hiss, all the
pop. It had an
pop.
echo. Did you add reverb or something?
No, that's just natural echo, dude. Natural pop top echo right there.
So cheers. Everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to football season starting, and half the teams are still undefeated. So congratulations to everybody who likes football.
Cheers to Grumpy Spotty Brand for the best Spotty Baby Bass designs in the industry. Just kidding. I don't know.
Sure, why not?
That's a difference.
9.7.
That's a difference between an opinion
10.
And
9.7, very crisp, babe. Dave Rage gave you. Captain Dan 10
dang.
from Mexico.
Yeah, that's probably
Rancho Leonardo. Hey, Captain Dan, that was awesome. Thank you for Monday. That was cool. I've always listened to heard about that place on the radio, and now I have a visual of what it's actually like. It looked like it was nice and calm, and you could just stroll around. It looked like you almost had the whole place to yourself, Dan.
That place
looked awesome.
He sent me a picture to share with you guys. I'm gonna bring it up right now.
Rancho Leonardo. Put that on my bucket list of places to go. That looks like a sweet fishing. I guess would you call it fishing village or like a fishing resort?
It's a resort, I think.
Resort.
I think we should all go. I think we should MMSC it down there.
Let's go.
It would be awesome adventure. And what really sealed the deal for me was it's like in a gated community. So just go straight there, straight back. You're good. Let's see. Oh wow!
That's right, Arnie. Go Chiefs.
So last night we couldn't see it too well because it was dark. But here's a picture that Captain Dan sent me.
Is it focusing?
There it goes. That was a table that we saw in the dark. There it is. We couldn't see it last night because it was in the dark. But that's how close you are to the ocean. Look, there's a beach right behind him.
That's cool.
So they're having dinner by the beach. That's cool.
That is cool.
Oh, what? Oh, what? And they had this is the buffet they had today.
What?
Beans and rice.
They have buffets?
Beans and rice and the chile rellenos. Boom.
Nice.
That's nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Dan's still there. I hope you're enjoying it, Dan. Thank you for spending an hour with us. I'm sure you're lying in your comfortable room.
Yeah, looks like dinner is good, Dan. Shoot. Oh yes, Mark G. Yes, definitely, guys. This is the thing that's in the works. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it this year or maybe next year. But if you don't have a passport, think of today as a good little warning to get your passport. Get your passport application done. No, don't wait till the last minute. Have it ready in case you got to go offshore, fish some fish down in Mexico, or go on a trip like this. You're ready to go. Okay. So get your passport.
Just go into your local post office, and they'll tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Okay, announcements, Roman. This weekend, Mission Bay, for you guys that are fishing Mission Bay, it's the annual Bay Fair Thunderboat races. I think you mentioned that a little bit on Monday, but if you haven't been to that, basically where Fiesta Island is, which is that big bowling pin area in the middle of the high-speed area, there are going to be boats that are racing 175 miles an hour and a 2.5-mile course around that. And you can, if you do go out there in your kayak or boat, you can park on the outskirts of it, kind of by North Ingram Bridge and other Ingram Bridge, and you can sit there and watch it and fish at the same time. I've done it several times. I might even be out there Saturday to watch it. And they have by North. If I'm going to give advice on watching it, go over to North Ingram Bridge, go underneath the bridge, and over there, kind of in between Ski Beach and I guess in Crown Point over there in that area. Yep. They have the drag boat races, which are just straight line, quarter mile, and those things. To me, that's the coolest things down there. It's crazy. I'm surprised when those things take off, all the fish don't float up dead because they're so loud. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, do you recommend wearing headgear, like when you go to a monster truck?
Nah, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I mean, if you have little kids and they're sensitive to loud noises, but I personally like that loud noise, so no, I like to hear it. But the fast boats that go in a circle, they're not very loud. It's just the drag boats.
Oh, yeah, it does.
But that's going on this weekend.
Dave Rage said that the chair makes it look like it's part of my mullet. It is my mullet.
I was gonna say something. You don't have it like tied up today.
I
It's
do.
flowing, huh? Oh, you do?
It's up, but the chair looks like it's flowing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it looked
Like,
like
man,
your
that's
chair made it look
like,
like
God
it.
damn, it's thick. I'm like,
Unleash it.
yeah.
All right, so that's Mission Bay, guys. Plan accordingly for that. It can be pretty crazy down there. So if you want to actually like truly fish, it may be a better option to hit the other bay this weekend. All right, MMFC outing, guys. Spotty Bowl's over, and we haven't planned an outing. So I'd like to this week, maybe not this weekend because it's kind of short notice, but at least let's start getting something in the works, guys, to where we can either do like a night bait barge journey or maybe go hit the halibut spot, or let's put together a MMFC get together.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Like a bay session?
Yeah, I would say because most of us, I mean, we could do La Jolla too. The only thing I heard about La Jolla is the water's kind of cooled down a little bit. So up for anything. I don't care as long as we get together as a group and we get out there and have some fun. I'm open to whatever.
I think we do the San Diego Bay Classic, which is we go to the what is it? Liberty Station launch.
Yep.
Super easy launch. Take over. Night session sounds fun, says Salty. Yeah, I think we do that. And then we kind of do it maybe we won't do it early in the morning. We'll do it midday. And if you want to stay into the evening, you can stay in the evening.
Yeah, midday and evenings for people that want to leave a little earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you don't know how that we're planning these things, Salty, can you put the link for Discord? If you're not a member of MMFC Discord, that's how we plan all this stuff. That's where everybody's on there planning all these outings and chatting. So jump on our Discord and be part of the MMFC club.
Very cool.
Do you want to talk about help with the show? This is by the way, if you're new to watching the show, this is our announcements portions of it. Let me tell you what's going to happen in the show later. After we get through the announcements, we're going to do a segment called Lure of the Week, where I'm going to break down a lure that we fish in the bay. Hopefully you'll learn something from it, and it's a lure that you'll actually go out and try to land a fish on it. We're going to show some PB shout-outs at the which is local fishermen showing off their catches for the last week or so. And we're going to go over some vocab words. And then at the end of the show, me and Roman always like to have a little bit of fun.
Very cool.
So as far as help with the show, Roman mentioned earlier that we're trying to get some more subs. We're trying to build our show. Me and Roman put in a lot of work on the show, and we appreciate everybody that's out there, but we're trying to build the show. We've been stuck at 400 subscribers. So Roman has some ideas on helping build the show, and he's going to ask basically for some help from you guys.
Yeah, like I mentioned a couple times before, and I know Jesse stepped up, Mark stepped up, Eric stepped up. So what we're going to do, and Brian wants to start helping too. So what we're going to do today after the show is I'm going to show Brian like how to do it real quick, just like on the Discord server. We're going to jump on a call. If you guys are interested in learning how it's done, it's not difficult, guys. It's super easy. But I'm going to do one to teach Brian how to do it, and then if you guys want to learn how to do it too, or help me with that part of the show, then it would be a good time for you to learn what we're doing too. Otherwise, we're also going to do another, like I guess you call it, training session a little bit later once we have more people in the queue. But yeah, after the show, I'm going to jump on Discord with Brian. You guys are welcome to tune in, and basically I'm going to teach him how to do the show notes, and then you guys can, if you guys want to help, you'll see how easy it is, and you'll be like, oh, I can do that. So if you guys, especially if you're a replay watcher, and you watch the show after, you don't watch the show live, you watch it after work or for whatever reason, and you have the time to also take notes for us, it would be great because you actually get a better. It'll be easier for you to do it because you'll get it while you're watching it, and the timing for when you're taking the notes will be correct because the show would have already been re-released by YouTube as once the live video finishes. So, yeah, you're invited to come check it out or hang out, and then if you want to learn it, then you'll learn it. Cool. And then,
cool. I'm ready to learn. Yeah. I mean, it sounds as easy as like just watching the show and taking notes.
Yeah.
Of timestamp notes.
Right, but the thing is, we got to do it on a show that's already been re-released. You can't do it live because the timing might not work out. And then if you guys can't make it, that's fine. We'll do another session too. So don't feel like you got to do it today. It's very last minute, very short notice. But we're doing it with Brian anyway, so if you have time, just come hang out. Okay? All right. I see Yak Mom.
What's up, Joe Mar?
Joe Mar,
in there. What's up?
Joe Mar McLeod.
We might see a little bit of him later. What's up,
There can
Jomar?
only be one Jomar.
Down SD's in there. What's up? Submission Fishing Muto, how's it going, man? All right, so
What's
let's get on
up?
with this here. So Discord meeting after the show.
Yes.
Be there. Okay.
What's up, Roy?
I got a small announcement to make. I was
Okay.
fishing this weekend at SD Bay. Just minding my own business fishing. And my brand new Zodius rod, dude. Pull up just the smallest Mac you've ever seen. You know, it's standard little 12-inch. And while it lifted it out of the water, snapped it in half, dude. This rod's only a month old. A Shimano Zodius. I have no idea if it was like a factory defect. I'm not sure. But I saw the receipt and it's still under warranty. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on how Shimano does with handling my warranty return. So I know it's very strange. It was
That's
like
so weird.
It had no signs of wear or anything. So I love my Shimano Zodius. It's always been my favorite rod, but I want to keep you guys updated on the progress of a warranty
power of the
return.
Mac, dude. It's the power
I know.
of the
I gotta
Macs.
go. I take the receipt. I fill out a warranty information. I ship it in, and let's see how long it takes. I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Very cool.
Okay, let's talk about some vocab words. It's something we used to do a long time ago. Remember this segment, Roman?
Yep.
Vocab words. So, for you guys that are new to fishing, maybe, or new to the show, and you hear some of these words that we're using on the show when we're talking about fishing, you're like, "What?" Sometimes it's like, "What?" It's like we always say. Sometimes Coach, man, he's a little above my fishing knowledge, and the words he uses, I'm like, I kind of understand what they mean, but I'm not exactly sure everything is coming out of his mouth. So we're gonna break down some of these vocabulary words, some real quick 10 easy vocabulary words, so that maybe if you hear these, you'll know what they are. And I'm gonna read the word, and then Roman's gonna give the definition.
Ooh.
And
guess the definition anyway.
You're gonna give it. And if you're in chat and you type in vocab word and the word, and me and Roman will try to define what we think that word means. And it's got to be a fishing term, though. Okay, Roman. First vocab word: set your drift. A lot of the times we'll say that. Hey, set up your drift.
Okay, so if you want to fish on a certain structure, you try to figure out which way the current's going or which way the wind is pushing you, and then you set up ahead of that obstacle or thing that you want to fish around, so that you drift past it or over it or next to it. It just depends on what kind of drift you want to set, but that's what I think of when I hear set your drift.
Perfect. That's exactly how I would describe it too. So set your drift. You're going to go with the current. You're going to set up your drift, just like you said. If you're going over a structure or you're just dragging it along the bottom, set your drift. Okay. Weed guard. What is a weed guard?
I thought this is a family-friendly show, Brian. It's the on a jig head. There's little plastic parts that stick out to kind of help protect the hook from the eelgrass, so you don't snag that much eelgrass or other things. But I've stopped using those actually.
Yeah, there's a reason behind all these vocab words. It's going to come up later. That's why some of these might seem like, oh, what's he asking? Okay, yeah. Skin hook. What is skin hook?
When you're fishing, when you set up on a hook like an extra wide gap hook, like a weedless setup, you push the hook through the bait, and then you bring the tip of the hook, the point of the hook, back into the body of the bait, but just under the skin, so it doesn't snag anything, right?
Yeah, it makes it totally weedless. So like a good example is offset hook through a fluke. Yeah, goes to the top, and you just pull that fluke forward and push that tip of that hook right into that rubber bait. You choked it.
When I don't usually say you choked it. I said it choked it, which usually means the fish ate the lure so hard that it got hooked like in its back in its palate, or sometimes even in its like stomach, the entrance to its stomach.
Yeah, you hear that term a lot too. Like even when you're like we're talking to each other, oh, he choked it. It's because it's all the way down, and it's sometimes hard to get those out. Free spool.
Just putting opening your bail, or pressing the button on your bait caster, so there's not any resistance. Like after you cast, or if you're trying to make a drop, just free spool. Open bail.
Exactly. Muto, the king of the slow pitch. When you pull up to something, you open that, you push your clutch on your baitcaster, and that thing just falls down. And when that spool is spinning, that's free spool. I'm waiting for some vocab words. I'm not seeing any there. Okay, so this one, I think we may have had this in the past. Video game fishing.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. When you see fish on your sonar or you see structure on your sonar and you drop down on it with baits and stuff, so that you normally couldn't see just from the surface. So you can see your lure going down like a video game to that obstacle or to that thing, and then you're trying to catch the fish like a video game.
That's right. I mean, when I video game fish, I just like cruise around. I look at that fish finder, and I'm looking for structures or I'm looking for fish. It's one of the things you do when you almost like are having a bad day, and you say, "Forget, I'm just gonna go video game fish." And it's like looking at your fish finder, scrolling around, looking for something on the bottom for me. Is there a vocab word?
What vocab word? Vocab.
I don't know how to answer that.
Video game fishing is the best with a live scan transducer, says Cal. What up, Cal?
There you go, Cal. What's up, Cal? Yeah, and that's it. We're going to call that for vocab words tonight. So those are some basic vocab words. Those are 10 vocab words that you may hear during this show, and that's what we mean when we say those vocab words. Bird's nest. That's a good one. You go ahead and tell them what a bird's nest is.
It happens after you free spool. If
you don't set up your baitcaster right.
If you don't set up your baitcaster right, and your lure starts flying starts flying slower than your spool is unwinding, then you'll get a rat's nest. Basically, the spool is when you initially cast, the lure is shooting away from you faster than when the lure hits the wind. The wind will slow down the lure, but the spool's already going faster than that. So it doesn't have enough weight or enough momentum to keep up with the spool at that point, and the spool's going faster than the lure. So you get all this extra line that gets released, and everything in the spool gets loose, and whatever it touches, it could be just the edge of the reel that will make it like interweave with each other, and you got yourself a nice little puzzle.
Yeah, sometimes a terrible puzzle that you're just gonna put away for later.
So I've never had to cut.
What? You better knock on some wood, dude.
Here. And so the trick to this is never to pull it from like you have a baitcaster here. It's the back of the baitcaster. The line's coming out this way, and you can look at the spool from the top, right? You never try to get rid of a rat's nest by pulling line out this way. Okay, that's gonna make it tighter. What you do is you go from the top and you start pinching, and you're pinching to loosen everything in there because it's going to be tight. As soon as you see the rat's nest, you want to stop the thing, and then you want to pinch it this way and that, and just get it as loose as possible. And once it's loose, then you pull a little bit from the front and see if it's coming out. If it starts to give you line, you're good. If it starts to cinch up again, stop that, and again start pinching stuff out of the top. And when I say pinch, I just mean like grab it and pull it up enough that it's giving each other slack. Because what's happened is some of the loops in the line have overlapped, and so when you start to loosen that stuff up, they can get in line and they'll let you come out. I spent like my worst one is probably like 10 minutes, but I figured it, but I got it. It was like on old braid too, so it wasn't stiff braid. It was just like the braid that's like already been used, and it's like very bendy, I guess, or flexible. It's not, doesn't have any kind of like rigidness to it anymore. Anyway,
dried out.
Yeah.
I cannot say that I don't have that title. I have given up on one before. So I should say many times, and just put that rod away, and I'm like, I'll just deal with that when I get home. But it's probably because I carry like multiple rods when I go out. So unfortunately, I've casted super hard and got lots of bad bird nests that I could never get out. Biter. Cal wants to know what a biter is.
I don't know. Someone that copies you? Oh.
A biter? Isn't that like a kid in preschool that's running around biting people?
No, I when it comes to fishing, I would say a biter is like any fish that's biting, or a fish that's like maybe short biting. No, short biter is a short bite, right? I'd say a biter is any fish that's hooked. Right? I got a biter, boom, you get hooked. I don't know. That's what initially comes to mind. But I also know that biting someone is also copying someone, right?
Yeah. Yep. I guess that would be the opposite
bad
of
ones
short strike, which would be they're just kind of coming up, tasting it, and letting it go.
Oh, okay.
All right. If we have no more vocab words, Roman, are you ready to move on to Lure of the Week?
Lure of the Week.
Yes. And right after Lure of the Week, we'll be doing PB shoutouts for you guys that are waiting for PB shoutouts. All right. I'm going to have to go to a screen share here, Roman.
Oh, yeah. I'll be back. I'm going to go to the beach real quick.
Okay.
What? I'm at the beach. Hanging out. Oh, you guys thought I was doing this from the studio? No, I'm still on vacation, guys. I'm still on vacation at my little box. I just can't go too far that way or too far that way. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Let me know when you're ready, Brian.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Oh, we need to do something about this Lure of the Week.
Saltwater Slayer. I've only had to cut about 40 times of line casting because I felt too confident. Oh man, 40 times.
You need to tighten up that. Do you know how to?
Saltwater Slayer, we had a show. Geez, well, when we get the scribe work done, we had a show probably 3 months ago on how to set up a bait caster. You can go back and find that show.
Yeah, I know.
We break down how to set that up so that will not happen. Where you could set up your bait caster where you don't even have to use your thumb.
Oscar said, "Are they hiring at your job with all that vacation?" No, I just been working here for a long time, so that I had a lot of vacation saved up. I gotta get rid of. That's funny. Okay, cool. So we're ready, guys. You guys ready for Lure of the Week? Let's do this. Let me know when you're ready, Roman, because I am ready to go. It's on. It's been on.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so if you guys are new to the show, this is Lure of the Week. Occasionally we bring out Lure of the Week. We talk about a specific lure that we can fish in our local bays, and most of the stuff we talk about comes from the largemouth freshwater world, but we use it also for bay fishing. This Lure of the Week, Roman, is...
Dun, dun, dun.
Come on. There we go. Jigs. So we're going to talk about jigs. By the end of this Lure of the Week, hopefully you'll know the difference between a swim jig, a flipping jig, a football jig, and a skipping jig.
I know what a flipping jig is. It's a jig. It's a jig that doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can give you some pointers. Yeah, flipping, not the slang, but yeah, there actually is. There's probably more jigs than this. This is just the jigs that I know of, but there's a lot of jigs on the market. And when you go up to the tackle wall and you look at the jigs, you're going to know what's the difference between a football jig and a skipping jig. And hopefully it'll pass this information on with other people also so that they'll know. Okay, first type of jig we're going to talk about is the swim jig. This is probably the most common. We've talked about this before on the show, I think, Roman, the swim jig. What makes this a swim jig? Basically, it's a lead head, just like your standard jig, but with ball jig, whatever type of jig you're fishing, it has a lead head. This particular one has that weed guard we were talking about, and then they have this flared skirt. The flared skirt will mimic like its gills. Some of them have a little glitter in them. They put out a little flash, but it just adds a little more action to it. Swim jigs. Oops. What makes a swim jig different from the others is that one of the things is the head. The head looks like a fish's head. It actually has an eye, has gills. It's mimicking that it's actually the fish's head. I'll show you the difference in some of the others, but this one is a swim jig, and they are set up with a thin wire hook. So they are meant to be cast and retrieved. That's why you can get away with that thin wire hook. The other ones have a much larger hook. So thin wire hook. Also has a weed guard on this one. And this is what they look like when they're rigged. So a swim jig, it basically is a jig head that you're going to attach a paddle tail to, and they've added that skirt to it. And that just adds a little bit more action, a little bit more flash to it. Here's another one rigged up. And the way you're going to fish these guys are pretty basic. If you fished cool bait underspins or you fish any type of paddle tail jig, you fish swim jigs this way, which is you cast them, you let them hit the bottom, and with cadence, you keep that thing off the bottom. With spotties and the halibuts that we're fishing in the bay, everything's down on the bottom. So we're going to cast that thing down onto the bottom. You're going to bounce that thing off the bottom with a couple of quick cranks, and then you're going to keep it about a foot above the bottom or a foot above the eelgrass. And you'll figure that speed out while you're casting and retrieving that. And occasionally pause that. and that's the swim jig. To me, this is probably one of the easier jigs to fish, Roman, and they do work. A flipping jig. What makes a flipping jig, I guess, different from where we started with the swim jig is one of the things is the head. Notice, Roman, that it's a little different shape.
Yeah.
Doesn't have eyes, doesn't have gills. A lot of these flipping jigs too, if you look underneath here, has a little knocker.
Yeah.
It's to make noise. And the flipping jigs have a much heavier hook. So it's usually about twice as thick as the wire as the swim jigs. And the main reason for the flipping jig being built that way is this guy is meant to be pulled up to some type of cover if you're flipping into grass, if you're flipping into rocks, or you're freshwater fishing into logs or brush. You tie up with this thing with a 65-pound braid, and it's like a vertical fishing jig. You just throw it in a hole where you think a fish is going to be. You let that thing drop all the way down to the bottom. And the reason it's built so heavy duty like that is so you can rip it out. It's meant for throwing it into thick cover. And that's what a flipping jig is designed for. Go through a few pictures. Also a flipping jig. You can notice no eyes, no gills. They're very basic. They're set up to fish basically just vertically down. Some of them have weed guards, some of them don't. With these guys, you're usually going to set these up with some kind of creature bait. So they're a vertical fishing lure. So when you toss this into the cover, or you're tossing it over into a branch, or you're tossing it into the eelgrass, or you're tossing it into kelp, this thing's going to go vertically straight down, and then it's going to stand up. So when it's on the bottom, it's a standing up jig, and what it's mimicking is crustaceans. So one of the main diets of spotted bay bass, when we did our spotted bay bass show, we talked about what their diet was, and one of their main things is actually crustaceans, Roman. You would think it's like all they do is eat fish all day, but spotties are actually scavengers. They'll eat all kinds of stuff, and one of the main things they eat is crustaceans. So you're mimicking that with this one, versus the swim jig, which you're mimicking a fish. So creature baits, vertical fishing. And they're designed heavy duty, so you can straight braid, and it's for ripping them straight out of dense cover. This is a very popular in the largemouth freshwater fishing also. This is a kind of cover that you're going to be throwing these things into. Basically, you're just flipping them into cover, letting that thing hit the bottom, twitch it a few times, and then pull it back in and go to the next hole, drop it down into the next hole, twitch it a few times. You're just basically flipping that jig.
Crazy.
Skipping jig, Roman. Have you ever used a skipping jig?
No, but I'm about to.
Skipping jigs are rare. You know, I don't ever use these, but they do exist.
That's okay.
So when you go to a lake, Roman, and you're trying to skip a rock across a lake, what kind of rock do you pick up?
A flat one.
Yeah. So if you look at the head of a skipping jig, when you go to the wall, and you're looking at all these jigs, you're like, what's the difference? What's this jig do? What's that jig do? If you see a jig that has a head shaped similar to this one right here, it's probably a skipping jig. And you might say, hey, Brian, what's a skipping jig do? I'm going to tell you. Oh, and another feature on a skipping jig is they usually have, because this jig, you're going to be throwing it really hard. You're going to be chucking this thing. And if you look right here, it's got a spiral bait holder.
Oh, yeah.
And that's to keep that bait on there really secure. And the reason is because these guys, you're going to be throwing these sideways. You're going to be throwing it, and you're going to be just like you're skipping a rock across a lake. You're going to be trying to skip these things underneath docks, in between boats. And that's what a skipping jig does. It tries to get you in places that you can't normally get to. So if you can get good at these, which I'm not, you can skip that thing all the way underneath a dock. You see that, go to G Street Pier, you see that dark tunnel back in there, and you want to try to get it way back in there. If you can get good at these skipping jigs, hook them up with a paddle tail or a creature bait and skip that thing far back to maybe where fishermen haven't got back there yet, and you maybe get a monster back there.
That's right.
Here's a picture of a skipping jig. This is probably one of the most popular ones, and it's the football jig, Roman.
Hey, wait, hold on. See Tyler in the chat. What up, Tyler? Dude, welcome, dude. It's been a while. Welcome back. It says, I just broke the piggy bank today. Bought a Trinidad 30. Damn.
Ooh, nice.
What was the temper? Put that thing to work.
Surprised you can even find one of those. Seems like everything's sold out. Okay, the football jig. What makes this a football jig, Roman? Well, look at the head. So the head on a football jig is shaped just like a football, right?
Yep.
A football jig. So it's this, out of all the other jigs, this one is designed to be dragged along the bottom. So if you're going to set up a drift, or if you're going to cast and retrieve this guy is designed to be casted in, free spool, let that thing hit the bottom, and then you're going to drag it in on the bottom. And the best technique to do this is almost like you're fishing your drop shot. So you're going to let the rod do all the work on these guys. So you're going to cast that in, let it hit the bottom, and you're going to just lift that rod tip about 2 or 3 feet extremely slow, and then lower it. And as you're lowering it, reel in the slack. And you're just going to keep that motion. And when you feel the eelgrass, or you feel some type of structure on the bottom, that's when you're going to give it a little pop to pop over that. But you want to, this is mimicking a crustacean, Roman. It's not mimicking a fish. So if you think about how a crustacean's moving around on the bottom, it's not like a fish. It's not darting around. It's just kind of cruising around. So you're trying to mimic that. So remember, when you're fishing these guys, let the rod do the work. Lift that tip up 3 feet. Lower it, crank in that 3 feet, lift up again, and just keep doing that. And when you get to structure, don't forget, bounce over that stuff. That's what these things are meant to do, to bounce around through structure. So drag that thing along the bottom. These are some of the creature baits you can hook up to the football jig. I recommend green pumpkin. You can see whoever put this picture together, it's all green pumpkin, some blues and whites, but green pumpkin, I don't know why in the bay, seems to be like a universal color. I think the fish really go for that, or the darker colors. This beaver tail one right here, very popular. I think the Zoom makes that one. But any of these creature baits that have some type of arm or something that's going to mimic a crustacean, that's what you're going to hook up to this guy. When you cast this in, how do you know it's on the bottom, Roman? You're gonna have a braid set up with a floral leader, and you're gonna keep an eye on that braid. So when you throw that thing in, if you're in, let's say, 30 feet of water, make sure that thing gets all the way to the bottom. Keep an eye on your line. Once it hits that, you're gonna have it in free spool when you throw it in, and let that thing hit the bottom. Watch that line, and then when it goes slack, when the line droops down and lays on top of the water, you know you're down on the bottom, and that's when you pull in that little bit of slack. Give it a couple twitches for the first couple seconds, because those fish, they'll see that thing falling down. They're watching that thing. It came from heaven for them, and it's all of a sudden dropped down. So a lot of the time with this, right when it hits that bottom, that first couple twitches, you'll get bit. But if you don't, just keep dragging it on. And once you get about 3/4 of the way through the strike zone, just burn it in and recast it. If it's directly beneath you, it's probably not working correctly. So once you get about 3/4 of the way through that strike zone, burn that thing back in.
Very cool.
Here's some pictures of the football jig fully rigged up. Here's what it looks like on the bottom. So like your favorite lure, Roman, that thing sits up almost like a Ned rig, huh?
That's cool.
So that's part of that football jig design, to where you can see it just sits in the grass. And if you were to drag that very slowly, you could imagine what that looks like with the creature bait's arm sticking up, all that skirt opened up nice and wide. And when you pull that skirt closes, those arms move, and that's going to get those spotties over there to take a look to see what the heck that thing is. But yeah, they'll sit up just like that. Here's a picture of it fishing through like riprap and rock. Yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think they trimmed that one.
That's one thing too with these skirts. They have different buoyancies when you start. If you get into jig fishing, and it's one of those lures that, you know, it takes a while to figure out exactly what setup works for you. But some of the skirts have a little different buoyancy. The guys that are really into them will trim them to a certain length if it's, you know, just past the hook, or depending what creature bait they're running, they may have a short skirt, a long skirt. The longer skirts open up, if you think about it, Roman, like opening up very slowly. And the shorter skirts, because they would be less buoyant, when it hits the bottom, open up quicker. So if you really want to fine tune it, you can try different material skirts, because when you buy a jig, it does come with a skirt, but you can also get like Tackle Warehouse sells skirts that you can change them out for different types of material, trim them. Don't be afraid to mess around with these things. You could trim that weed guard too. There's a lot of ways to modify these, which to me is part of the journey and part of making it fun. Setup I recommend for fishing this is a 7'3" to 7'6". You don't have to worry about much accuracy on these guys. They're really just getting it as far as you can out there. So a longer rod, chuck that thing out there as far as you can, create as big strike zone as you can. As with everything, I guess except for the flipping jig, that one you're going to be flipping directly into heavy cover, but everything else you're going to be just casting it as far as you can and then working your way in. Medium heavy rod, because when you get bit on these, you need to be able to set that hook. You want to swing that rod right over your shoulder and set that hook straight up. So you're going to need a little bit heavier rod, but I'd say medium heavy for this, just to get that, especially when you're fishing that football jigs. They have that heavy duty hooks on some of them. You really have to swing it to set that hook. Bait caster, 100, 200 size with a braid to leader. I'm going to say 30 pound, 15 pound leader, unless you're fishing the flipping jig. I'm going straight 65 pound braid when I'm going through that. You can see one right there. Spotties do eat these. Green pumpkin. And there is a monster spotty that looks like about almost a 17-incher with a swim jig in his mouth, so they do catch fish. And if you were listening, spread this information, and you could be a slayer just like this guy, Cal.
Nice. I think I took that. No, who took that picture? I think I took that picture. No. Very nice, Cal.
Maybe.
Getting them.
Good job, Cal. Thank you, Cal. And that is it for Lure of the Week. So hopefully what you guys learn from that is when you go into shop for your jigs, you know exactly what type of jig you're looking for. And I'm going to stop my screen share for a minute, Roman.
All right. A little bit more warning would be nice.
Sorry.
You put me on your view, and they could see my vacation home.
Oh no! I blew the magic. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna show you real quick what these guys look like when you go to the store. So I have a few of my swim jigs on here.
Come back.
Let me know.
We'll go full screen.
Sure.
It's so funny. Okay, go.
I blew the magic.
Come on, man! I'm like the Wizard of Oz over here. Jeez.
You know these.
Pay no attention to the guy sitting in front of the green screen.
What? Yeah. No attention to the guy behind the curtain. So swim jigs, you're going to go up to the tackle wall, and there's going to be a ton of them. And hopefully with that information, now when you walk up to them, you can make an educated decision if I'm going to buy a swim jig, or I'm going to buy a football jig, or if I'm going to buy a flipping jig or a skipping jig, because they all they're all built for a different purpose. So if you're fishing your football jig with a paddle tail, you might get bit, but that's not what it's designed to. So a lot of them will actually have, let's see what we got here. This one right here is a Dobbins half ounce. Just tell me if that shows up, Roman. Can you read right under it what it says?
It says blurry.
It actually says on it in the smallest writing you could possibly see right there, football jig.
Cool. Very cool.
Most of them are labeled what type of jig they are. I remember the football jig, that's the one that's going to be sitting straight up on the bottom that you're going to drag in. Drag in. So that's a football jig. Swim jig generally look like a fish's head. So when you walk up and it has eyeballs and gills and a very thin hook, that's your swim jig. But some of them don't have any, like the Kitech ones don't tell you what they are. And you're looking at this thing, you're like, what the heck kind of swim is that? Brian said football jig. He said, jigging jig. I don't know what he said. He said all this stuff. What kind of jig is that? How am I going to fish that? And look at the shape of the head. If it looks thin and it looks like a fish's head, it's probably going to be a swim jig. This one is a swim jig, has the small hook, but also look like this one right here is a Picasso football jig. So just look on these. Weight-wise, I'm going to recommend 3/8 for the bay from almost everywhere because they're not like a fast. You want that thing to go slow, finesse kind of fish. Half ounce maybe. If you're going in the San Diego Bay really deep, maybe 3/4 ounce, so you can get down there on the bottom. But remember, I consider every one of these but the swim jig a finesse jig. So you're just going to be finessing it. That's swim jig, Drummond.
I like it. Very nice. Round of applause from the live studio audience. Woo! Yeah, I do travel with the live studio audience, just in case you're wondering, of course.
Does anybody fish with swim jigs in chat? I'm just curious.
Does anybody
I do
fish?
fish them. I didn't fish them in spotty bowl a lot because it's not my confidence bait, but I do enjoy fishing the football jig just because it's especially wintertime when you have to slow it down. You got to go slow. How's your confidence on the swim jigs?
Yeah, I mean, any questions on swim jigs? What you just saw the presentation? Any questions on that? And also, do you guys fish them? What's your favorite swim jig right now, or football jig, or skip jig? I'm gonna work on the skipping jig. That's one of my things I want to learn is get good at skipping them. Yeah, dude. It just looks super cool. But like all the videos I watch, you see guys doing it from bass boats, and they're high off of the water, and they have like the really nice. They can just swing the rod down and
sidearm.
Yeah, it's hard to do that from a kayak sitting down. And
you got to stand up.
I can stand up in my kayak, but like, yeah. Anyway, it's hard for me to even dabble in it because I always have like the camera in front of me on a pole, and then my fish finder on the left, and pretty much I can only cast on the right side. And to do that kind of a motion, I gotta really be lined up. Like the kayak has to be lined up. I can't just maneuver around it because if I try to skip it across the valve, I'm gonna hit the camera stand or my flag or whatever. Anyway, so it is something I kind of want to get into, learning to skip it.
There's a few spots. Take for instance when we fished South Bay. Remember South Bay a year ago when we went fishing for sharks and rays, and you were underneath that weird dock.
Yeah,
it was like pitch black in there, and there's like, I don't know, it's like 25 feet deep and pylons everywhere. Yeah. And I'm thinking, if I could just, I am in a boat, so I couldn't get in there, but if I could just flip all the way back in there, who knows? Maybe the world record's back in there. Maybe he loves hanging out in that deep shadow area that nobody can get to, you know? So a skipping jig, perfect for that.
So the thing with that too, with like any area that doesn't get light like that for a long time, it's barren, dude. There's going to be no vegetation down there. Like I remember the first time I went to La Jolla, and I was not the first time, but the first time I went to specifically dive in La Jolla, the caves, right?
Yep.
You're at the caves. You're like you can. There's a bunch of eelgrass. There's calicos everywhere. There's like lobsters. There's a bunch of stuff out there in La Jolla, right? Of course, it's a reserve. And then as soon as you snorkel into the cave, you can see where the light stops getting into the cave. It's just dead. There's nothing on the floor. It's just like sand, right?
There's no kingfish like hanging out in there waiting for.
It's just sand. It's just sand.
Nothing, huh?
Yeah, and so like, and that's an area full of life, right? Like it's a cove. It's protected. It's like not right. Well, I just imagine in the bay like that, it's probably just like. I mean, I didn't dive in there, but my guess is that there's nothing growing down there because there's no light.
Gotcha. So there's no reason to be down there. So if you're not, because you're foraging for food, and if there's nothing down there to eat.
Yeah. So you're probably your best bet would be like maybe at best like the piling on the end that has light on it, or like one in from that. Like anything beyond that is probably going to be too far. You know, it's probably not going to work out. If anything, for like for skipping a jig like that, I could see it working like under boat docks, because then if you could skip it under the boat dock, you know how they have those like floating like boxes that keep the docks up. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
It's like a black box. It's just kind of full of air
like
and floats.
A buoyancy box thing.
Yeah. And there's always a gap between those, right? And like the clearance between the boxes and the dock and the water, it's usually like about, I don't know, a foot to 6 inches, right? So if you could skip it through that, get it past to the other side, and then you swim your lure through there, that might be a better presentation than like the usual throwing it at the dock and then letting it sink right next to the dock, right? If you could skip it past it and then swim it under there, that would probably be a nicer look.
And because the bay, we mainly fish in shallow water, I bet when that thing's skipping across, they would probably hear it, they look, and then they see it come down. And, maybe that's something we need to try more on. Yeah. Skipping jigs. I don't even know if I own one. I have to look. I'm going to look through the chat, see if anybody... Muto, no, I did not get a new camera. Does it look good? I changed my lighting on vacation.
It's all about the lighting. Backlight. It's all about the lighting.
Have I tried my Croc A-rig yet? Well, I did when I went out with Salty and Roman. I just basically dropped it in the water to see what it looked like, and it looked like it would do. do pretty good. I basically rigged up a Recon A rig with 5. I don't think you can cast it, Mark, because there's so many treble hooks on it. I think every time it hits a water, it's going to be one. They're probably going to be wrapped into each other somehow. If I switch them out to single hooks, it might work. But I think that's a one that you're just going to drop in and then slow troll. We'll find out. When I go to La Jolla next time, Mark, I'll fish it. I'll let you know how it does.
Right. Very cool.
Leonard says he caught his PB sand bass on a swim jig. What kind of swim jig was it, Leonard? Was it a football jig? Oh, he says swim jig. Sorry. Swim jig. Jesse says I've fished them, but I haven't got many bites. It's a confidence thing with that, Jesse. So we know they work, and I know they may not be that bait. You know, you get into these baits where you get out there and you think that, hey, I caught 20 fish with this bait, that it's like, that's the best bait out there. But you want to try to catch the big fish, right? And sometimes the big fish have seen that bait you're throwing so many times that they don't look at it anymore. And maybe the small ones they just on instinct are hitting it. So the swim jig, I think, will get you big fish, but you're not going to have a 20, 30 fish day on it. And that breaks a lot of confidence with people when you are fishing something that's different than normal, and you're not getting those 20 fish you're used to. You kind of like try it for 10 minutes. You're like, I was just fishing the Berkeley Gulp, dude, and I was catching them every other cast, and now I'm throwing this thing in. I haven't got one for 20 minutes, so it must not work. But
very cool.
You have to build confidence in these baits, just with anything else.
Yeah. Let's see. I see Zach's in here. What up, Zach? Welcome back. People talking about Lobster Opener. When is Lobster Opener, Zach?
October, I think, right? October 2nd, maybe? No, I shouldn't even say that. I'm not sure the date. I'm not sure. I thought it was beginning of October.
Yeah, it's coming up. So, guys, I put a video series together with Captain Scotty on setting up your hoop nets. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. At any point, if anybody asks about setting up your lobster hoops and getting all that stuff ready to go for the opener, !hoop net, I think, is a Nightbot command. Let's see if it comes up. There it is. Hoop Netting 101 series. Go watch that if you're new to lobster. If you're new to lobster trapping, I guess you could say lobster hoop netting.
Hoop netting is what I would call it.
Hoop netting. It's a fun thing to try. That's definitely something we could do as a group. Once that, I don't know about the opener. I think don't like recreational fishermen get like a week head start on the commercial guys.
I've never been lobster hoop fishing, Roman. I've been with you guys watching you do it, but I don't know. It's not something that's on my agenda.
Do it. Yeah, maybe that'll be one of the things we do for as a group, guys. We do lobster opener.
We did that last year. That was awesome. No, we didn't do. Did we do the opener?
No, I don't think so.
We did it because I remember I went out with you guys at night. We did hoop fishing, but I don't think it was opener.
No, it wasn't.
And there were so many lobster traps out there, and I was in my boat. It felt like I was in Mario Kart. I'm like trying to avoid all these flashing lights everywhere. It was crazy though. Like the whole bay was like flashing lights all throughout the San Diego Bay jetty. It was crazy.
Oh, Oscar, the commercial guys are allowed to put the traps out but not bait them until lobster opener because they don't get a head start. So you'll see a bunch of hoop nets out there already, but they don't have bait in them. They're just basically jockeying for position.
They're just holding their spot.
Yeah, when the lobster opens, when it opens for them, they'll just go back to their lobster pots, put the bait on there, and then set them back down. But they have that prime spot locked down.
Gotcha. I guess if they're doing it for a living, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Like, yeah, let's not get into that. I guess.
Where's Coach at? He would know what day opener is.
It's on the.
All right.
2nd or the 6th.
Is it October 2nd?
2nd or the 6th. We'll figure it out.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
Beginning of October. Sounds like first week October. All right. Are you ready to get on to PB shoutouts?
PB shoutouts. All right. You ready?
All right.
Let me go.
Let me get this. You got to queue up the.
Let me go hang out on the beach for a second while I get this thing rocking. Right. Hey, what up, guys? Welcome to the show. Hey, if you guys haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. If you're watching from an iPhone or tablet, please you can exit the chat, click the like button, and then come right back in the chat, hang out with us. Okay? That's ready. Are you ready?
Not quite. Almost there.
Right, let me know. I'll see it when you're ready, and I'll cue up the music. All right, guys. The next segment of the show is called
PB
Shoutouts. If you're new to the show, and you want to be featured in PB Shoutouts, this is where you guys send us pictures of your personal best catch or a significant catch that you've had in the past couple of weeks, or if you haven't been on the show yet and you have a catch that you want to share that's from a long time ago, feel free to send that too. the way you can get that to us is by direct messaging it to Brian on our Discord server, and you can look for Brian Likes to Fish on Discord. And the way you get to our Discord server is gonna be in the chat in 2 seconds.
You can also get me through Instagram. Brian Likes to Fish on Instagram. Yep. Just direct message me there too. But Discord or Instagram will work.
Very cool.
And it doesn't have to be a personal best. Just any fish that you want to show off, or if you just want to be part of the show, send me a picture and a story.
Well, here we go. Music coming through courtesy of Anthony over at Sound Fishing. Let's see, where's this? I forgot where I put it. It's only been a week.
You know what? You didn't. I don't think you played the music at the beginning.
I'm gonna play it right now. I'm gonna play it. But I just can't remember where I put it.
No, I mean the beginning of the show.
Oh, you're right. I didn't. Dang, slacker. I guess that's the.
See what happens when we take a 2-week vacation.
Oh, I know where it is. Okay, I'm ready. Here it goes. Ready? Let's see.
We've seen you out on the water. They say you fishing harder. I guess we'll find out this week on our PB Shout Out!
Woo! All right, so October 2nd is Lobster Opener. Thanks, Oscar, for looking that up. Lobster season starts after the Saturday, the first Wednesday.
Cool.
So okay, cool. All right, so October 2nd, 6 a.m.
Good to know.
All right, let's do this.
All right, personal PB shout out. So this is local anglers. I think Roman already gave you the description on what it is. I'm going to go to the first PB shout out. This is an MMFC spotty record.
Wow.
So Roman and Eric the Judge Layman started Discord, our own MMFC kind of records. So basically any fish you've caught since, I think it opened, September 9th?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's huge.
Since September 9th, we opened up these records. So you can't go back to a fish prior to September 9th and submit. It's got to be after September 9th. And this is our club PB spotty for right now.
Look at its belly, dude. It's crazy.
I know, it's a fatty. So if you don't know whose hand that is, when you send in a PB shout out, guys, too, I like to have a picture of you with the fish. If you don't want one, that's fine too. But if you don't know whose hand that is Jesse's hand. Congratulations, Jesse.
Let's go, Jesse.
You are currently holding the Spotty World, I guess we call it Spotty MMFC record. He says he got this is his PB Spotty also in Los Amigos Bay. Caught it on the docks with a 15-gram slow pitch jig near a piling. Nice. He didn't have his bump board with me, but he measured it with a measuring tape, and it was a 16.75. Wow. And it weighed 2.195 pounds. So 2-pound club right there too, Jesse. Congratulations. Damn. That is the current MMFC.
That's awesome.
Club record. So get out there
it.
And try to break that. 16.75. That's pretty good fish.
That's a big fish, yeah.
Yeah. And we go by increments of 1/4 inch. So you're going to have to catch a 17-incher to beat that guy. Ooh. So congratulations, Jesse. If you don't know who this is, you are obviously not on Instagram. She fishes, I think, 7 days a week, maybe 24 hours a day. That is our very own Cast Queen DFA, Ariel. She caught this, which is a Corvina.
Very cool.
Yep, she caught it on her Lucky Craft 110 Sexy Shad.
Oh, that's a fun one.
I think that's a jerk bait. She caught 4 barracudas on, and then she pulled this thing in, which is her PB Corvina. She estimates it 18 inches long, but I think it looks longer than that. She did not have a measuring device, so she's not quite sure. But congratulations on that nice catch. Looks like your friend in the background caught himself. Is that a sand bass too?
A spotty.
Cast Queen. I don't know if I can pull off that look with the fanny pack, but dude, I would like to try, man.
You should, dude. It's convenient, dude. You should do it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that looks like a nice one, leather and everything. It looks like you could. I mean, especially if you're shore pounding, man. All right, fanny packs. Let's fishermen's are. She's bringing them back in style. Congratulations on your PB Corvina, Cast Queen.
Very cool.
Another MMFC record, sand bass. If you don't know who this handsome gentleman is, that is Muto.
Very nice.
Muto. Muto caught this. Guess what he caught that on, Roman? Just take a wild guess.
Drop shot.
No, he caught that on a slow pitch jig. I think he was fishing the bait barge on this Saturday.
Damn, must have been a heavy one.
A sand bass. That thing. Hold on, let me see. I got another picture of it. That thing was 20.25 inches long, weighed 4.36 pounds. Congratulations, Muto. You currently hold the MMFC sand bass record.
What did it weigh? There it goes.
4.36 pounds. Cool. It's a nice one, dude.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Muto had like a really good day at that bait barge, which Muto, I must have just missed you because I was fishing that same area the same day. I must have missed each other, and that's exactly where you're sitting is where I broke my Zodius rod.
Oh.
Just so you know. Bad memory. Congratulations, Muto. And if you guys don't know Muto, he has a show on Thursdays, Submission Fishing, where he talks similar stuff that we do, bay fishing and local fishing, off coast fishing. He is a slow pitch jigging king. You want to call him that? So congratulations, Muto. Okay, next up. Okay. There's a big story with this fish.
Dang, dude.
You may be looking at that fish and wondering what the heck. So this is, if you guys don't know, that's Joey Basson 24. I think it's Joey Basson in the chat. So before I tell you what kind of fish that is, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you the story of this. Okay, so we were. I'm going to read this really quick. We were doing some early 7-gill shark fishing this time of year because winter is just around the corner. So we went out to Pinto Beach around 8 p.m. We didn't get our baits in the water till about 9. We dropped them about 200 yards off the beach with a drone, which is crazy to me.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool right there. They spent the night. I spent the night there fishing. Slept through the night and woke up at about 4:30 a.m. to hear his reel slowly taking off. Awesome. Grabbed the reel got tight, but for some reason the fish ran towards the beach. He kept the line tight. He started getting some head shakes, and it started pulling some drag. So he quickly reeled it in, and when he got it close to the shore, Joey realized that he had a great white shark. Great white shark, which you're not allowed to target those, but let me read the rest of the story here. Once that thing hit the sandbar, they quickly went into action, cut the hook, got the hook removed, took a quick photo of that thing, and then safely, Joey, of course, look at him in the water with a great white shark. That's amazing. He quickly released that thing, and it swam away healthy and strong. So, I mean, who would guess, Roman?
That's so cool.
You're out there, you're fishing the beach, and you pull in,
crazy,
I don't know, what is that, like a 6 or 8 foot great white? I know you cannot target those. So I talked to Coach about this. You cannot target those, but if you do happen to catch one, just like when we catch a black sea bass, and you fight that thing in, and when you get to the side of your kayak or boat, you safely release it. Don't take it out of the water. You try to get it unharmed as fast as you can back in the water. I mean, sometimes these endangered fish, you're gonna get them, and you do your best to get them back in the water lively. And that's what he did. He said got it quickly back in the water, took a quick picture, and it's out. So congratulations, man.
Salty said
I think that's crazy.
Salty said that's a big nope for me.
I know. It's like when I see that picture there, I just envision that thing like going, okay, so this is what's going on, and like turning its head around and taking a chomp of you and then taking off.
Dude. So crazy. Well, very good.
But, yeah, congratulations, Joey. I mean, that's quite a fish. I mean, I'm looking at that picture again. Crazy, I don't know the size of that, but I'm going to say it's well over 100 pounds, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's an awesome looking fish for sure.
Yep. So congratulations. Thank you for releasing that safely and helping it. I mean, you went above and beyond, it looks like to me, taking it out in the water and making sure that thing swam off strong. So congratulations. This is a setup he got it on, which was a Penn International 50 130 hollow core braid with a 150-pound mono top shot leader. The rod was a Gaff Tech rail rod rated 100 to 150 pounds.
Yeah, perfect setup.
And that's a setup. I mean, geez, you can say now you caught a great white. So congratulations. Cool. Okay, next PB shout out. Somebody new to PB shout outs. If you guys are on Instagram, this is another person that's constantly catching fish. This is Jacqueline. She is Lady Angler SD.
Very cool.
And she's always catching a lot of fish. Hopefully one day I'll get to fish with her. We're trying to set something up. All right, I'm going to read you her story. It was really cool. I was excited to go on a trip, mostly to have a chance at a big yellowtail. So she was obviously on a charter boat. We happened to be in a school of yellowfin tuna that were biting. So I switched up the bait and went over to mackerel instead of the sardines. Shortly after I hooked, I could tell that it was a yellowtail by the way it fought. They tend to dive down to the bottom and try to get into the rocks. So it was I was pretty stoked that I knew I had a big yellowtail on. Everything in Guadalupe, that's the area she was fishing, was shoulder hooked. So I'm assuming she's shoulder hooking your baits.
Okay.
That is a 40-pound yellowtail.
Dang.
Guadalupe. She caught it on a seeker rod, 30, 50 pounds, with a Penn Fathom 40. Seems like everybody has that reel. With 50-pound Berkeley big game, that is mono. Dang. So she caught it on mono. Pink line, 50-pound Seagar fluorocarbon leader, a Mustad 3/0 hook or 2/0 hook, shoulder hooked into a medium-sized mackerel.
Very
that
nice.
Fish to me, when she sent me this picture, look at this picture.
Dude, that's awesome. The push.
I don't know. Jacqueline is like a master of taking a picture to make a fish look big, but she said that fish was only 40 pounds. But to me, that thing looks like it's like over 5 feet long, doesn't it?
You gotta push it. Yeah. It's like you're pushing it out towards the camera. That's funny.
But Brian, it looks like the tail is touching the deck. I mean, that is crazy. Jacqueline, you need to teach me how to take pictures like that.
Master of the push.
Do you have like a 4-foot long arm? I don't know. Doesn't that look like more than a 40-pound yellowtail?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's so funny.
So awesome catch, Guadalupe Islands. Sounds like you had a blast.
You got pretty close right there, Brian. Guadalupe. The E.
I'm sorry.
The E is like you pronounce it like if it had an H at the end. EH.
Say it again. Well, how am I saying it wrong? I'm saying Guadalupe.
Oh, there you go. You got it. Earlier you said Guadalupe.
My mouth is moving so fast. Sometimes the words just don't come out, Roman.
Guadalupe.
I want to go there.
Yeah, let's go.
Another MMFC record. Yeah, he's in chat right now. This is. I'm going to get over to his stats here.
Wait.
This is Jomar, Ghost Sniper in
Ghost
Discord.
now? You keep changing your name. Ghost.
I think it's Ghost Sniper. Yeah,
it's Ghost.
Now?
Yeah, it's Ghost.
Sorry,
it's Jomar.
I can't keep up on all these. Anyway, that's Jomar. And he just caught the MMFC sheephead record.
There you go.
So
nice.
He submitted that guy in there. God, that thing looks giant too.
Well, how big was it?
That is a 9.23 pounder.
Okay.
So that is a pretty decent sized sheephead. Look at the head on that thing. Caught on a Dolphin charter out of San Diego Bay on an AM trip. He caught this on a Kuma 364 with a Phoenix M1 rod. Everybody's slaying it with that rod. 40-pound braid, 25-pound mono.
Dang.
And he's going to actually show you. There's a setup, and there's a lure he caught it on, Roman, with a squid strip attached. I think that's pronounced a tamari.
Tamari?
I'm butchering that.
Cool.
Yeah, so it looks like a squid with a squid strip on it.
Yeah.
It looks like something you vertically fish. I think those things are like 8 ounces, maybe. They're super heavy, I think, too. So
that's a crazy looking lure, dude.
Ghost, there you are. Yeah, that's right. Yee, you're on there. Congratulations. You
awesome,
own
dude.
the MMFC record for sheephead. All right. This guy right here.
Woo!
If you don't recognize this smiling face,
is he on
this
today?
is my buddy Texas chapter. This is Oscar. And Roman mentioned this briefly that Oscar is recovering or recovered from COVID. We all knew unfortunately he was in the hospital for a few days. He is out and he is back on the water. Super stoked that you're back out there, Oscar. Glad to see you smiling out fishing. Man, that's quite a camera setup you got on your head there, dude. That's legit. Is that a battery or something, Roman?
I think so, yeah.
That's Oscar. There's his kayak. He's got that sweet trolling motor. It looks like he's going out fishing. Man. Super stoked you're back out there. He's got a stringer of fish. Let's see what he said he caught. Oscar, he did pretty good with the paddle tail. He fishes a paddle tail called Big Booty Judy.
That's awesome.
If you haven't watched his YouTube videos, they're pretty hilarious. He caught 10 redfish and 1 spotted sea trout, 2 flounder. If you guys don't know who he is our Texas chapter MMFC. That's Oscar.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Oscar. Welcome back. Yeah.
Welcome back on the water. Congrats. And that is it for PB shoutouts, Roman.
PB shoutouts. Round of applause for everybody that participated in PB shoutouts. Guys, if you want to be part of the next episode of PB shoutouts, do reach out to Brian either directly to Instagram at Brian Likes to Fish, or you can also reach out to Brian through our Discord server. Discord is ! Discord in the chat, and I'll give you the link to the invite. That's the only way you get in the server is if somebody sends you the invite link. So, welcome everybody. Is anybody new here in the? Is there
if they're new, get ready for a treat. Because at the end of the show, we usually like to have some fun, right, Roman?
That's right.
See, sometimes it's fishing related, sometimes it's not.
I have fun all the time, Brian.
I know you do, Roman. I'm here right with you having the fun. So if you guys used to watch a show, I used to do movie reviews, but the boss man said no more movie reviews. I'm sick of those. Stop doing them. So I had to come up with something different. No. So I'm going to do this until Roman, I'm twisting his arm until he says, please bring back movie reviews. So at the end of every show, I'm going to read off some fishing jokes. I'm going to tell us some fishing jokes.
First, we got to welcome the first timer. What up, Cal? Welcome to the show. Hope you enjoyed this first episode ever. Let me know how the experience was like, and give me any feedback. Much appreciated, sir. When do I get jumped in? That's hilarious.
Come on out.
That's funny. All right, so let's do this. So, jokes, angler, fishing jokes, as told by Brian. Let me get ready. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, if you didn't know, I've been trained at Disneyland in a lot of things. I'm an artist. I've shown off my artwork that I've been trained at Disneyland. I also used to tell jokes at Disneyland, so I'm classically trained in telling jokes. Roman.
Oh, here we go. Let's let your talent shine, Brian.
Yeah, okay. And I wrote all these myself.
Oh, so. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Maybe.
He plagiarized these jokes himself. All right.
Yep. And Zach Riggs, these are always for you. This is the best part of the week. I know, Zach. Me and you were both into bad jokes, and that's basically what these are. So, all right, Roman.
I'm ready.
How do religious fish always start their prayers?
Oh man, how do religious fish always start their prayers? I was actually thinking about it.
Dear cod.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Some of these are going to be pretty bad, but you know what? Hopefully one person out there, Zach, laughs. All right. A little fish walked into the bar. The bartender asked, "What can I get you?" The little fish replies.
Oh, that's a long one. Okay. Just give us the answer.
Water. I need water. Thank you.
Ghost with the stop sign.
Is this thing on? Okay.
That's hilarious.
Hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. What is the best way to communicate with a fish?
Sound waves. I don't know. What's the
Drop
best?
Drop them a line.
Oh.
Hi, that's a good one too. A fish has been arrested and is standing in front of a jury in a court. The judge says to the jury, "How do you find the defendant?" A member of the jury stands up and says, "We find the defendant guilty." So bad.
I don't get it.
Get it.
I don't get it. Hold on.
Guilty.
Oh, Gilly. Okay, got it. Guilty. Oh my gosh.
Guilty. Oh, when you have to tell the person the punchline so that it's not a good joke. All right.
You should have said, "We find the defendant guilty."
Okay, it was my setup. All right, you're right.
Yeah.
I need to work on that. I'm gonna have to complain to Disney. They didn't train me good enough. All right. I used to look for shellfish at my local beach every day until one day I pulled a mussel.
Oh my god.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
All right. What did the fish say to his friend who was Sorry, this one's bad. What did the fish say to his friend who was acting extremely shy?
Oh, I know. Don't be coy.
Stop being so coy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right.
Cal said buffering.
Crickets. Somebody's laughing. I know it. All right.
Zach,
Did you see the new film about fishing? It has quite a cast. Come on, guys. Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for the applause.
Oh my
Thank
gosh!
you.
It says, friend of the fish says, "Come out of your shell."
Okay.
Instead of don't be coy.
What do you call the soft tissue between a shark's teeth? A very slow swimmer.
Oh my god! Nice.
Okay,
I was like, gums.
This is it. This is the last joke of the night. So hopefully this is a good one. I really like this one. This one's a good one. This is an icebreaker joke. Why did the fish blush?
Ooh, why did the fish blush?
Because it saw the ocean's bottom.
Oh my god. That's not even a dad joke. That's like a little kid joke. That's hilarious. I want to use that one on my kids right now.
Yeah, they're gonna love it. So anyway, guys, that is jokes for the week. Hopefully you enjoy those. This weekend, I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna snag some grass. I'm gonna catch some bass. Hopefully, I'll see you guys out on the water this weekend. I'm out. See you, Roman. See you, everybody.
Have a good one, Brian. Thank you so much. Let's take the show out. Thanks again, Brian, for doing the prep work for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, including these awesome jokes at the very end. I like them. No, they're fun. It's funny. So remember, guys, I'm gonna show Brian how to do these episode notes after the show in Discord. So we're gonna jump into one of the public, maybe the comms group. So if you guys want to go in there, hang out and talk or chill out with us while we're doing this little demonstration, go in and hang out with us. Again, it's on Discord right after the show is over. And if you're interested in helping us archive these episodes and become a scribe of the group, let us know. We could also that's where I'm basically going to show you guys how to do it. And then if you don't have time to do it tonight, we'll figure it out and we'll do it another night too. And we'll do another demo so you guys can start helping with that stuff if you're so interested. Okay, so Joe, thank you for hanging out with us today. Leonard, Zach, Roy, All-Nighter Hider, I got Leonard already. Jesse, Salty Dangler, Captain Dan, this is Zach Riggs, Ghost, Jomar, or whatever name you go by these days. I'm just kidding. Mark G, Cal Cave Dog in the house. I didn't see Eric today. Have you heard from Eric? Brian? No? Okay.
Oh, no.
I gotta reach out to him. I haven't seen Eric. So I wonder what's going on with them. Muto in the house. I got... Oh, Ralph
Probably
Aguirre.
still celebrating the Raiders win.
Ralph Aguirre, sorry I missed you in the chat till now, but welcome. Hope you enjoyed the show. I see. I already got Mark G. I got the Real Dreamer in the house. I got. I'm gonna go through my head and make sure I haven't missed anybody here. Saltwater Slayer over there in Oxnard. Very cool. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll see you guys over in Discord in a little bit. So have a good night. Okay, I'm gonna kill this cast and then I'm gonna jump into Discord. Okay, there it goes. And okay, I'm gonna hang up with a call.